She is fair and just.
Thoughtful, intelligent.
She really helps people.
She has the ability to lead. She just understands what ordinary people go through.
Judges have to be impartial and they have to be committed to getting it right.
She spends much of her time working with real clients, real people who have real problems.
Every Supreme Court justice has to be committed to fairness and integrity.
I think she would make a huge difference on the court. I think it would be a change for the better, and we need someone like her on the Supreme Court.
Grew up in New Jersey. I had a brother and a sister. I was the oldest, therefore the responsible one. My mom raised us kids, and then when we were in high school, she went back to school and became a social worker. My dad went to the Marine Corps right after high school, and then he went to college after that. And he was a small business owner most of his life. Hard work was not something he was afraid of, and it was a good example for my brother and my sister and I believe. I went to law school in New York City. I went to New York University Law School, and I graduated in 1991. So my first practice was as a legal aid lawyer right in New York City. I went from there to Yale Law School, and that's where I started teaching in a clinical program. Started supervising students, representing people who otherwise wouldn't have access to lawyers, and I really loved it. I joined the faculty at the University of Michigan Law School in 1998 and have been here ever since. My husband Steve is a great partner. He's a great partner in all of the work we do, the things we care about, raising the kids, and having fun. My husband and I have 4 kids, and they're in middle school and high school right now. It's a fun time for us because they're all still, they seem to still like us, and nobody's, getting in trouble yet or anything like that. So far so good with the kids.
She's smart, she's funny, well, she's sort of funny. She keeps us on track, keeps us doing our homework, doing our stuff that we need to do. I think my mom would be great on the Supreme Court because she cares about fairness more than anything else.
The one thing I've had in common over the course of my career is I've always represented people who didn't otherwise have access to counsel.
She's really taught me a lot about how important it is as a lawyer to be accessible to people who don't have the means to access justice.
My mom helps people that might not be able to afford help otherwise, so I really admire that.
It shouldn't matter who you are when you show up at the courthouse. You should be treated fairly no matter who you are.
She's really opened up our clinics to work with kids who have special medical needs through a pediatric advocacy initiative.
We provide legal services to families that have children who are ill. Being in the business of raising a bunch of kids, I don't want to worry about whether my kids are safe in their communities, and I don't want to worry about whether our justice system works effectively for our families. I want to make sure my kids can go to college and they're healthy and they're happy. I don't want to have to worry that they're safe. My kids deserve to grow up in a safe community, and so do yours. I can remember very vividly coming home from high school one day, and there was a woman I had never met before living in our house. And she was a victim of domestic violence who my mom had met at a shelter she was working at. And my mom took her in, and we had another person living with us. And it had a big impact on me that was my mother's commitment at a very young age.
She really brought sort of the issues of domestic violence and of its victims really made it real for law students who didn't know anything about it.
I've built a number of clinical programs myself, and a domestic violence clinic was one of the first ones. When we started that clinic, what we decided we wanted to do was give victims of domestic violence and their families a kind of holistic representation. It really did simplify the process, and it really did take a lot of the stress out of what is inevitably a very difficult situation. You are the protector for the client, and I think that is one of the most motivating parts.
She's very passionate about what she does, and it rubs off on the students. We pick up on it, and it makes it exciting.
I think my mom would be great on the Supreme Court because she cares about what people need and want, and she knows what she's doing.
People that high up, sometimes you forget about what's actually at stake, and I think she'll always have that in mind.
My commitment to fairness, my commitment to integrity, and my experience representing and protecting families over the years will be a very valuable one to add to the Michigan Supreme Court.